Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. A U.S. appeals court has ruled that Texas can require public schools to display the Ten Commandments in classrooms, overturning a lower court's preliminary injunction. According to UPI, the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals found that the legislation, Senate Bill 10, does not compel students to adopt religious beliefs, nor does it require religious instruction. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton celebrated the decision as a major victory for Texas and our moral values, emphasizing the Ten Commandments' historical impact. However, the American Civil Liberties Union, representing multi-faith families, expressed extreme disappointment, calling the ruling an unconstitutional violation of the separation of church and state. The ACLU expects to appeal this decision to the Supreme Court. Four individuals are currently vying to become the next Secretary General of the United Nations, commencing their policy presentations at UN headquarters. The hearings involve representatives from member states and non-governmental organizations. The current UN chief, Antonio Guterres, will conclude his second term at the end of this year. Among the candidates, former Chilean President Michelle Bachelet emphasized that the world and the international law order are under unprecedented strain, stating, "Human dignity must remain at the center of UN action." Rafael Grossi, head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, acknowledged the significant doubt surrounding the institution and questioned how development can be pursued amidst war and destruction, highlighting the critical importance of security. The remaining two candidates are Rebecca Greenspan, Secretary General of the UN Conference on Trade and Development, and former Senegalese President Macky Sall, who are scheduled to participate in hearings on Wednesday. The permanent members of the Security Council wield considerable influence over the election process, with their recommendation being a prerequisite for the General Assembly's appointment of a new UN chief. The article also notes the possibility of additional candidates entering the race, NHK reports. According to the Daily Express, Florida's Attorney General has launched a criminal investigation into OpenAI, the creator of ChatGPT. He alleges that the AI chatbot provided advice to a man accused of a shooting at Florida State University last year, including what type of gun and ammunition to use, and when and where to strike to maximize casualties. The shooting resulted in 2 deaths and 6 injuries. James Uthmeier, the Attorney General, stated on Tuesday, April 21, that if a human were behind the screen, they would be charged with murder. His office has subpoenaed OpenAI for its policies on responding to threats of harm from users. OpenAI spokesperson Kate Waters denied responsibility, telling the Washington Post that ChatGPT offers factual responses based on public information and does not encourage illegal or harmful activity. The company also stated that it proactively shared information about the suspect's account with law enforcement. This criminal probe follows a civil inquiry announced earlier this month amidst increasing legal scrutiny over AI's ethical responsibilities. Al Jazeera reports that China is strategically benefiting from the ongoing U.S.-Israel war on Iran by presenting a stark contrast to the United States' approach. Beijing is leveraging its strong economic relationships with all involved parties, the U.S., Israel, Iran, and Gulf states, to protect its interests and prepare for the post-war period. Analysts suggest China is gaining by adopting a patient, observational stance, allowing the U.S. to manage the conflict's fallout. China's policy of non-interference, coupled with its position as Iran's largest trade partner and a key economic player in the Gulf, allows it to maintain a balanced, reasonable image. While China engages in diplomatic efforts, it aims to be a peacemaker without the burden of underwriting peace, recognizing the Middle East as a secondary interest with limited political capital to expend. Despite its low profile, China's diplomatic activities are noted, positioning it as a provider of stability. Japan's National Institute of Technology and Evaluation (NITE) is issuing a warning to the public regarding the safety of secondhand goods. The institute is urging consumers to exercise caution, as used products have been linked to a rise in accidents, including explosions and fires. Over the past 5 years, NITE has received reports of 310 accidents involving used items. Approximately 90% of these incidents were fires, with about 30% specifically involving products with lithium-ion batteries. Among the most common items implicated in these accidents are bicycles, air conditioners, kerosene heaters, and fan heaters. The agency highlighted a case where a used power tool battery purchased online burst while being stored after charging. This advisory comes amidst a backdrop of increasing use of flea market apps and persistent consumer inflation. JJ Press. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.